Well, good morning, folks. Welcome to another episode of Real Country with Jeff and Melony. Thought I'd do a little burning daylight coffee break this morning. Talk a little bit about what's been going on. I'm sure everybody knows, almost everybody in the world nowadays has been touched by this or knows somebody like this. And it's hard not to know somebody, either a family member or a friend. But little news flash. Hello, baby. Cancer sucks. There's no other way to put it. It's a horrible disease. You can do everything in the world to try to take care of yourself, but it's scary. It's kind of like a tornado. You never know if you're going to have it, if it's going to affect you or your family, or what's going to go on. Several years back, my mom had an accident. She fell, hurt herself just a little bit, nothing major we thought, but we went to the hospital and had her checked out, and it saved her life. Because of the scans that they did, they were able to find a cancer, go in there, remove it, and thank goodness that's been 20-something years ago, and she's been doing fine. Come here, bud. Got my little girl out here with me. I don't want her to get too far out of sight. Get over there and lay down, baby. Lay down. Good girl. But that was terrible. It was scary. Thank goodness we got through it, and everything so far has been good. Mom's doing good. But we had a little scare with my wife. She had a routine doctor's appointment. You know how they go in there and do the lab work. And I've just recently, in the last year or so, started going to a doctor for the first time in about 40 years, because my doctor died when I was a child. Just never had no major problems. I've never been back. Had a little problem about a year ago. Decided I needed at my age to start taking better care of myself and kind of maintain everything and hopefully not have no bad problems. But anyway, my wife had her little lab work, and it was time for her yearly mammogram. Well, normally, she'll hear about a week later, a little card in the mail or something. Hey, everything's good. We'll see y'all next year. Well, this time it was like the next day. The office called, told her they needed her to go next week and have a more detailed mammogram. Well, needless to say, it terrified my wife. And she's not the most positive person in the world when anything like this happens. She's zeroed in on worst case scenario. And I tried to talk to her, I tried to calm her down, but she was in a panic, and can't blame her. It's a very serious thing. Long story short, it was a very, very long week. I believe we found out about this, that she was going to have to come back, say like on a Wednesday or Thursday. It was a long week, very long week. Their appointment was scheduled for the next week, and she was scheduled to see her regular doctor from the lab week the week before that week. Well, I thought I had made her laugh and cut up, tried to get her mind off of it where she wouldn't worry, and I stayed keeping her busy. But that following Monday just happened to be my birthday. And needless to say, she wasn't in a real good mood. And then the next day was our 31st wedding anniversary. And she wasn't in a real good mood. And you can't blame her. Her nerves was getting on her. It was scary. Well, she was supposed to see her regular doctor in the next day or two. I think it was Wednesday. Well, wouldn't you know it, they actually had a computer problem at the doctor's office, and they called her to reschedule her appointment a few hours before time for her to come in. And of course, my wife, being the worrywart that she is, just took it that they already knew the results from the test. It was the worst news it could be, and this was her doctor's way of getting out of having to face her before they could do the exam and, you know, tell her the bad news face to face. Well, she really went into a panic, got all upset. I made an excuse and eased away from her. She went outside and just started walking laps around our acre front yard. She about wore a hole in the yard. I bet that circle of the front yard dropped down 3 inches, because I've never seen her walk that fast. Wore out poor old Boone, because Boone was walking every step with her. I snuck down to the barn and I called the doctor's office to find out if it was something like that, or if it was just, you know, an awkward timing that it all just fell in that way. When I got them on the phone, people at the doctor's office, the nurses, they were exceptionally nice. They checked, they double checked, they told us that no sir, we haven't heard anything. Honestly, the entire office is about to shut down, because they've got to come in, the IT people, do a flush of the system, change some things, update it. Had nothing to do with my wife's appointment, but of course my wife was almost over the edge at that point with nerves. So then we finally get over there and they do the detailed mammogram, and thank God it turned out to be nothing. As most ladies out there will know, there are things that go on in a woman's body. It doesn't always have to be cancer. It can be a tiny, you know, benign cyst develop, scar tissue, number of things. And this actually was none of the above. It was just, when you get a certain age, your body starts changing. It's part of the growing process. Your body is in super growth when you're little, till you get to a certain age, then you kind of plateau and maintain. And then as we get older, gradually, tiny by tiny, your body starts, you know, changing for old age. And I just turned 55. My wife is almost my age. It was just the normal changes in the body, but something didn't look exactly 100% right. But after a careful examination, a more detailed examination, it was nothing, no problem whatsoever. Just something they wanted to look at a little bit more intently, because what they saw at the moment just didn't look normal. But after they examined it, it's absolutely nothing. It was nothing to worry about. And Doc said, we'll see you next year and life's beautiful. And just like that, throwing a switch, now my wife's back to normal. She could relax, she could enjoy herself. But it's scary. And as a husband, there's nothing you can do. And you can tell them don't worry, but it's different when it's not you. We all love life. We all want to be here as long as we can. We want a good quality of life. And all we can do is, you know, try to take care of ourselves, be careful, and hopefully we'll be lucky and live to a ripe old age. And at 3,000 years old, one night we just go to sleep and don't wake up. But take care of yourself. Look after each other. Do whatever you can. You know, a situation like this, all I could do was crack jokes and try to be sympathetic. But it is scary, especially, you know, when it's your wife and there's really nothing you can do. But just thought I'd make this video. It was a very long week for me, and very long for her, because she was the one worried, even though I probably was worried more about it than she was. It's scary. So just thought I'd do this little morning video while we enjoy a little coffee. And, you know, take care of yourself. Look out for each other. Hold your family close. Appreciate them while you got them. And with that being said, I don't know where y'all may be watching at, but in my neck of the woods, it's going to be a very hot day. They said our temperature is going to be right at 100. The heat index may be over 105, 106. We're going to be crying for shade. And I'm fixing to get out here and run a weed eater and a chainsaw and try to do some more chores around the farm and hopefully make a few more videos today. But just wanted to stop and take a little moment and talk about this. And I know there's plenty of people out there with stories just like this. But take care of yourself. If you like our videos, give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe. Tell your friends. We need all the help we can get. But good Lord's willing, the creek don't rise. We'll see y'all on down the road. Y'all have a good day.